Homelander is no longer just pretending to be God. He is building an entire religion around himself. And somewhere underneath all that power, there is a man who is terrified of one thing: dying. Season 5 has now passed its halfway point, and Episode 4 left us in a place that felt less like setup and more like a quiet before a storm. But what is coming in Episode 5 might just be the storm itself. Hey, what's up everyone? Come back to Breakdown Epic. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Now we are officially past the midpoint of The Boys' final season. Episode 4 gave us a lot of character moments, hidden references, and atmospheric setup, but it did not give us the kind of explosive forward momentum that many of us were expecting. So now the question becomes, does Episode 5 step on the gas? And based on what we know, there is a lot to unpack about where this story is heading. The race for V1, the fracturing of the team, Homelander's obsession with immortality, and the possibility of a major character switching sides. This is
To understand where this season is going, you have to understand where Homelander is right now mentally. And the answer is fragile. More fragile than we have ever seen him. Yes, he has the worship. Yes, he has the church. Yes, people are calling him God. But none of that is filling the hole he feels inside. And that is because he now understands something that he has never had to face before. He is mortal. Throughout this entire season, there has been this subtle but constant reminder. If Homelander does not get his hands on V1, he will die. He will age, he will weaken, and he will become what he fears the most: ordinary. That realization alone is doing something to him that no amount of public worship can fix. Because here is the thing about Homelander. He does not want people to worship a lie. He needs to believe it himself. And right now, he knows it is not real. Every prayer, every sermon, every moment of public adulation is falling into a void inside him because he understands the truth. None of it matters if he is going to die. And that is why his obsession with V1 has reached a breaking point. It is no longer about power. It is about survival. He needs to become what he has been claiming to be, literally and permanently. And that desperation is going to drive everything he does in this episode.
Now let us talk about the poll numbers that were dropped in Episode 4. Only 22% of Americans would be open to viewing Homelander as their one true god, while he needs 70% approval to shift national policy in his favor. That is a massive gap, and the show is using those numbers for a very specific reason. It is foreshadowing exactly what Homelander said would happen: the reckoning. He told us that there would come a point where those who do not accept him would face consequences. And now, with him having a church but not enough followers to control the country, that trigger is being pulled. Think about what that means logistically. The camps that we have seen throughout this season, the youth programs, the propaganda, the human testing, all of it has been building toward a specific moment. The show's creators have been very clear about drawing parallels to very dark periods in real-world history, and Episode 5 might push those parallels even further. The shift from detention to extermination is not a jump that would surprise me at this point. Homelander does not accept rejection, and if 78% of the country will not worship him voluntarily, he has already shown us that he is willing to make them. Now let us talk about the race for V1. In Episode 4, both sides discovered that the V1 was never actually inside Fort Harmony. It had already been moved. And the key detail is this: Butcher and his crew now know who has it: Bombsite. That name might not mean much to casual viewers, but for anyone who has been paying attention to the lore, it is loaded. Bombsite was a member of Soldier Boy's original team back during Vault Rising, and he was known for one specific thing: he could make things explode. Now, why does that matter? Because in the trailer for Episode 5, there is a shot of someone being blown apart, their guts everywhere, all over another character. And that other character is Mr. Marathon, the original speedster who's been missing from the 7 for a long time. So what is the connection?
I think Bombsite is either hiding out with Mr. Marathon, or Mr. Marathon was the one who took the V1 from Fort Harmony in the first place. Either way, both sides are going to end up at the same location, chasing the same prize. And when they get there, it is going to be a bloodbath. With only 4 episodes left after this one, the show does not have time to delay the V1 storyline. Whatever is going to happen with that compound needs to start resolving in episode 5 or very shortly after.
He wants every single vial gone so that no soup, including himself, can ever become immune to the virus. His reasoning is simple. A world without soups is a safer world. But not everyone on his team agrees. Starlight, Kamiko, and Huey have a different perspective. They want to keep at least 2 vials so that they can use V1 as a form of protection. They have spent seasons being hunted, being experimented on, being traumatized, and now there is a possibility that they could be immune to the virus that is designed to kill them. That is not a chance they are going to want to pass up. This is where the cracks in the team become fractures. The disagreement is not small. It is fundamental. And it is exactly the kind of conflict that could lead to the team disbanding once again. Butcher has always been stubborn. He has always believed that his way is the only way. And if he refuses to compromise, the others may not have a choice but to walk away. This division has been building all season, and I think episode 5 is where it finally breaks open.
Now let us talk about Soldier Boy, because there is a very interesting dynamic forming between him and Homelander, and I think episode 5 is going to push that dynamic to a breaking point. We know that Soldier Boy does not respect his son. He never has. He views Homelander as weak, as soft, as a disappointment. And in the previous episode, he was completely willing to leave Homelander locked in that uranium-lined cell, potentially dying, and walk away. That tells you everything you need to know about where his loyalty actually lies. But here is what is fascinating. Soldier Boy may be the one person who could tip this entire conflict in a completely unexpected direction. He has the ability to de-soupify anyone who has compound V in their bloodstream. That means if Homelander gets his hands on V1 and becomes immortal, Soldier Boy could potentially strip that power away. He could take away everything Homelander just worked to gain. And that creates the most compelling question of the episode. Could Soldier Boy actually switch sides? We have already seen signs of this being set up. In the previous episode, when Butcher looked at Soldier Boy, there was no hostility. There was no immediate desire to fight him. It was almost like Butcher was seeing something in him
That could be useful, or at least not actively dangerous. And Soldier Boy has shown that he is willing to betray anyone, including his own blood, if it serves his interests. So if Homelander becomes too powerful, too uncontrollable, and too much of a threat, Soldier Boy might do the one thing that no one expects: help the people who want him dead. That would leave Homelander exactly where he has always been destined to end up, completely alone. Every person in his life eventually leaves, betrays, or is killed. Sister Sage, Ashley, Firecracker, and potentially even Soldier Boy. All of them will eventually jump ship, and what will be left is a man with infinite power and no one left to control it. That is the most dangerous version of Homelander there is. Not a god, not a leader, a weapon without a handler. Now, let us talk about Mr. Marathon, because if he is indeed being reintroduced in episode 5, that opens up an entirely new can of worms. The Seven have been looking for a new speedster ever since the character known as A-Train became too unstable to perform. Sister Sage has been advising on recruitment strategy, and bringing back Mr. Marathon would be one way to instantly solve that problem. He's experienced, he's established, and most importantly, he is a known quantity. But if that return happens at the same time that both sides are converging on his location to get to V1, then his return is going to be anything but peaceful.
The trailer shot of someone exploding all over Mr. Marathon is not subtle. It is a warning. That scene is going to be violent, graphic, and it is going to set the tone for exactly how high the stakes are in this episode. When soups fight each other over something they all desperately want, people die. And if Bombsite is involved, people do not just die. They come apart. So here is my prediction for episode 5. Both sides converge on whatever location Mr. Marathon is hiding at. In the chaos, Homelander either gets his hands on the V1 or he gets very close, but something prevents him from actually using it. Meanwhile, Butcher's team fractures over the V1 debate, and at least one member walks away. Soldier Boy makes a choice that nobody sees coming, possibly reaching out to Butcher or at least stepping back from actively helping Homelander. And by the end of the episode, the stage is set for a final showdown that involves everyone. The pieces are all on the board now. Every character has their role, every motive is clear. And with only 4 episodes left after this one, there is no more room for filler. Episode 5 needs to deliver. And based on everything we have seen so far, it is going to. But anyway, those are my theories and predictions for The Boys Season 5, Episode 5 in. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.